Hello, today I bring to you Percy B Shelley's Ozymandias. The theme of the poem is mortality, that everything in this world comes with an expiry date. That which comes to exist, comes to live, finally dies away. And Shelley, in his poem, explores the theme through irony because he juxtaposes mortality with absolute power. Authoritarian power that feels it is invincible, that it is eternal, that it shall never come to an end. And Shelley expresses that that too bites the dust. Dust thou art, and to dust returnest. Stay tuned till the end of the video because there I summarize the poem for you under 1 minute. Let's discuss Percy B Shelley's Ozymandias. Percy B Shelley is one of the most prominent English romantic poets. If you look at his time period, 1792 to 1822, he died really young. It was a boating accident and he, his crew, his boat all sank in a storm in the sea. He was barely 29 years old when he died. And Ozymandias was written when Percy B Shelley was 24 years old. Ozymandias is the name of an Egyptian king. He is known as Ramesses II across the history books, and he reigned 3,200 years before our time. That is about 1250 BCE. And a statue was discovered in Egypt, which was then lugged back to the British Museum. The statue was discovered by an Italian explorer, and the statue is also called Younger Memnon. That is what the plate reads at the statue, and it is only the bust of the statue, only the top part. And it is this king that Shelley really talks about in the poem, and the statue of the king, and of course of hubris, of arrogance, of pride, and of mortality. If you look at this picture on the screen right now, this statue is colossal. This is just the bust, but you must know that from one shoulder to the other, it is about 2 meters. And then the height of the statue is more than 2.5 meters. Of this bust is 2.5 meters. So Shelley starts to talk about this in a way that he heard it from someone. So there was a traveler in the desert who saw the broken statue and now is coming and speaking to the poet, and the poet narrates the incident to us. So Shelley begins by telling us, I met a traveler from an antique land who said, 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown. If you see here, he's really reporting to us an incident that happened, or an experience that happened with a traveler. And he's coming and telling Shelley that I saw in the vast desert of Egypt, there was this statue, but it was broken, and all I could see was its vast legs. The legs stood tall, but the statue did not have the trunk. It was trunkless. Trunk, or the torso of the human body, the main part of the body which has the chest, the abdomen, the pelvis, the back, that was completely missing. And as the traveler looked around, he saw that the face of the statue was there, half buried in the sand, a shattered visage. The face was shattered, but it was very evident that there was a frown on the face. So the traveler now starts to describe to Shelley what kind of emotions were portrayed on the face of the statue. This particular poem by Shelley is a sonnet. It's written in iambic pentameter, and I would say here that the rhyme scheme does not follow that of a typical Petrarchan sonnet. In the first 4 lines, you can see that the rhyme scheme is A, B, A, B. As land, it rhymes with sand, and stone rhymes with frown. I'll tell you about the rhyme scheme as we proceed with the parts. The sonnet has an octave and a sestet, which means an 8-line part and a 6-line part. We have seen the first half of the 8-line part in these 4 lines. Now we'll move to the next 4 lines of the octave. Shelley then speaks, and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read, which yet survive stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. So we saw that he spoke of the frown of the face. Now he's talking about the wrinkled lip and the sneer of cold command. It is the face of someone who's drunk on power. There is a frown on his face, perhaps because he is insecure about his power, or because he frowns upon everything else that comes his way. and the lip is wrinkled. It does not have a happy smile, but the lip shows that there is some kind of negativity operative inside the person's head. And then he speaks of sneer. Sneer is contempt. When you just don't think anybody matches up to you, when you feel you're the most pervasive, the most powerful, and you simply operate upon everybody else, and there is cold command. So there is a cold-heartedness that is implied, and the fact that this person was in a position of command, of authority, of power. So all these emotions, the sculptor, he captured them very well. Tell that its sculptor well those passions read. The sculptor read these passions very well, and then he portrayed them onto the stone as he carved the stone. And these have survived, and these are stamped onto the lifeless stone. The hand that mocked them, copied them. So to mock something is to take it as your subject and completely copy it in every detail onto your medium. So the sculptor read these passions on his subject, and then he copied them onto the stone. And the heart that fed. So the sculptor also brings to us the nature of the heart of the person who had these emotions. The heart of the pharaoh. It is this king Ozymandias that we are talking about here, Ramesses II, I said, the 19th dynasty Egyptian king. And he is being portrayed here by the sculptor. So it was the king's heart which fed those passions. The sculptor has read these, and now he brings both the fact that he was a very skilled person at his art. So it is the hand that you see on the face of the king, and you also see the heart of the king, the nature of the king portrayed onto the stone sculpture. So this brings us to the end of the octave. Now this is the second part of the octave, and the rhyme scheme here is AC, DC. So basically A and D show that these lines do not rhyme with each other. So read rhymes with fed, but command doesn't rhyme with things. So the rhyme scheme here is AC, DC. Now we move on to the last part of the poem, which is the Cestet. Shelley says, and on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, king of kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away. It is very important to see here that the pedestal reads what the king might have said, and this is what Shelley, the poet, uses to bring in irony to the whole poem. On the pedestal, it is the avowal of the king that I am the king of kings, my name is Ozymandias, and if you think you're mighty, or he's calling upon everyone. The word ye means thou or you in the plural. So all ye who enter here means all of you who enter here. So when he says ye mighty, he's summoning everyone, perhaps even God, that if you think you're powerful, if you think you're mighty, come and look upon my works and you shall despair. So the king thinks that what he has brought forth in terms of his kingdom, in terms of the rule that he has established in Egypt, is the most invincible, the most powerful thing in the whole world. And anybody of any kind of power, any kind of might, if he looks upon all this, would despair. But actually, the despair is that the king himself is gone, that his kingdom is lost. And Shelley also says here that even legacies are lost. We have to Google Ramesses II. Who was he and what did he do? These things are a forgotten part of our history that can be read, that can be brought forth. But in that sense, the king and his power no longer have any hold upon the world in the present. So the despair is actually that nothing lasts. And it is not really what the king meant us to have, that, oh, you would look upon my might and you would feel some sort of regret inside of you, that you're not as powerful, that you're not as pervasive, or you're not as eternal. He says that nothing beside remains. The traveler tells the poet that there was nothing else apart from this broken statue around the decay of that colossal wreck. So colossal, huge, gigantic. This large sculpture, this large statue had bitten the dust. It was completely wrecked. And around the decay, all he could see were the desert sands. Till where your eye can see, to the horizon, boundless in that sense, you could see that it is the sands that stretch bare, the lone and level sands. The word level here, I believe, adds a lot of weight to the last line of the poem in the sense that life is a great leveler. It brings you where you belong. And no matter how powerful this king was, whatever the reach of his kingdom was, or whatever his riches, he's finally reduced to dust. So the word level, I think, is chosen here with to show that life is a great leveler. No matter how much you rise, eventually you have to be reduced to dust, to ashes one day. And the lone and level sands. So lone, there is absolutely nothing to be seen as you're standing at the statue. Your eyes can span from here to the horizon, and all that you see is this broken wreck. There is no sign of the kingdom that he established, no sign of his power, no sign at all of the riches that he had, and everything has been consumed by the power of time. The lone and level sands stretch far away. So this is the sestet of the sonnet, and the rhyme scheme that has been followed here is ED, EF, EF, such that appear rhymes with despair and despair rhymes with bear. But kings does not rhyme with decay, and decay rhymes with away. So ED, EF, EF, and that is the structure of the sonnet here. Let me now summarize this poem for you. Shelley lucidly brings out in Ozymandias that all power, all arrogance and pride finally bite the dust. Though the king says that his power is invincible, but here he and his memory lie shattered in the desert sands, and it is time that has the last laugh. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for more such videos. I'll see you again.